Hi there, this is Yash Goel and you're watching your favorite news destination Times Now. Missed out on what's happening across the world? Well, don't worry, we got you covered. In the next few minutes, we'll take you through all the stories of the day that are worth your attention. The crushing volcano continues erupting on Monday, sending ash columns to a height of up to 4 kilometers, according to Russian Emergency Ministry. In fact, the volcano emitting stones and ash was captured on a video film in a nearby natural reserve. There were no residential areas in the proximity of the volcano, local emergency services said in a statement. The eruption began Saturday evening into Sunday for what scientists said in the first time in hundreds of days after a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake. Explosions and smoke were seen over the Gaza Strip early Tuesday as Israel continues its military operation in the enclave. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday said that he would convene the cabinet this week to discuss how Israel can meet the 3 goals he has set for the war: defeating Hamas, returning the hostages, and ensuring Gaza no longer possesses threat to Israel. And his plan to potentially increase military operations are meeting staunch opposition from within Israel, including leaders of protest, from leading security leaders and cultural figures. Airdrops of aid continued on Tuesday over Deir al-Bahal in central Gaza. Israel's blockade and military offensive have made it nearly impossible to safely deliver aid, contributing to territory slide towards famine nearly 22 months into the war with Hamas. In fact, aid groups say Israel's weak hold measures to allow more aid in are far from sufficient. Families of hostages in Gaza fear starvation affects them too, but blames Hamas. As international alarm has mounted, several countries have airdropped aid into Gaza. The UN and aid groups call such drop costly and dangerously for residents and says they deliver far less aid than trucks. Supporters of former Brazilian President Bolsonaro protested Monday night after the Supreme Court ordered his house arrest. Bolsonaro is on trial for allegedly masterminding a coup plot to remain in office despite his defeat in the 2022 elections, a case that has gripped the South American country as it faces a trade war with Trump administration. In fact, justice who is overseeing the case against Bolsonaro before the top court said his decision that the 70-year-old former president had violated precautionary measures imposed on him by spreading content through his 3 lawmaker sons. Bolsonaro's lawyers said in a statement that they will appeal this very decision. 2 boats launching fireworks caught fire in Japan on Monday during a summer festival located south of Tokyo. The event was cancelled halfway. No major injuries were reported. In fact, event organizers plan to launch approximately 20,000 fireworks in 25 minutes. Roughly 20 minutes into the event, the music stopped and the officials announced that the event was cancelled due to safety concerns. The audience began to murmur after the announcement, but the crowd then started seeing black smoke coming out from the boats on fire. Hundreds of remote homes are being threatened by a massive wildfire burning through Los Parades National Forest in central California. At least 3 people have been injured, including a motorist with burn injuries who was overturned by flames. Officials say the fire spans more than 100 square miles of Santa Barbara to San Luis counties. In fact, the blaze grew out of several small fires that erupted Friday along State Route 166 between Santa Marina and Bakersfield. More than 1,000 firefighters working in hot and dry conditions are scrambling to make progress against the flames. US President Donald Trump said in a Truth Social post on Monday that he will substantially raise tariffs on goods from India because of India buying massive amounts of Russian oil and making big profits from selling it on. Indian goods imported into the United States will be subject to a 25% tariff starting August 7th, according to an executive order signed by Donald Trump on July 31st. Besides the 25% tariff, Trump had earlier said he would impose a penalty for India's purchase of Russian oil without elaborating on details. Thousands of people were spotted crowding around trucks and climbing on them for aid in Khan Yunis. An international alarm has mounted. Several countries have airdropped aid into Gaza. The UN and aid groups call such drops costly and dangerous for the residents and says they deliver far less aid from trucks. Many food parcels dropped by air have splashed into the Mediterranean Sea or landed in the so-called red zone from which Israel military has ordered people to evacuate. In either cases, Palestinians risked their life to get flour and other basic goods. In India, Filipino president was greeted to a welcome ceremony in New Delhi on Tuesday by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu. Marcos left Monday for a 5-day state visit to India for talks with Modi and other top officials to boost trade, defense and investment in agriculture, tourism and pharmaceutical industry. Marcos' visit is taking place with the celebration of the 75th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two nations. The crucial NDA parliamentary meeting was attended by members from both Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Har Har Mahadev, Jai Shri Ram chants echoed as Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a grand welcome at NDA event. This meeting comes amid repeated disruptions in Parliament over opposition's demand for discussion on the Special Intensive Revision or SIR of electoral roll in Bihar. The opposition has also called for the withdrawal of the SIR exercise.